We good?
Yeah, because our intros is always like
some sort of horse crap of debauchery.
Yeah.
It's warm out here in the garage today. It is.
Episode
7.
All right. Let's get it started.
Step right up, got tickets on sale. In today's episode, trains coming off the rails.
Lucky number 7. Well.
All right, welcome back. How's your shoulder?
Shoulder feels great today.
Oh.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It was rough, man. I told you. It's like, it's like everybody went out and had fun, but I was like, I knew when to call it. I was like, I can't do this today.
But it was your idea for what we did.
I get it. Listen, sometimes it's tough to be a director and a producer.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes you just can't be there.
Hey.
You got to manage from afar.
So we moved up today. We got a camera guy
We do.
to make sure that the camera doesn't go off on us this time.
Say hi back there, camera guy.
Hello, I'm camera guy. Jason's son.
There we go. He says to me, he goes, Dad, am I getting paid for this? I said, I'm not even getting paid for this. Yet.
For only 39 cents a day, you can help support
Poor decisions and bad habits.
Yeah, poor decisions and bad habits. Oh.
All right. So, what you got for us? What are you thinking today?
Well, we're in the beginning of May.
You know what May is?
No, I didn't know what May was until you told me what May was.
May is National Motorcycle Safety Month.
It's kind of sad. I work at a dealership and I didn't even know.
Well, you got the whole rest of May to talk about it.
Wait, if it's safety month, am I like the poster child of don't be this guy, be this guy?
Well, you know as well as I do, safety rules are written in blood because somebody, somewhere around the way, somebody did something that created a rule or had a rule and then created a meeting that created a rule.
Yeah, you should be pretty good about talking about safety stuff.
I feel like at this point in life, I'm a safety champion.
Yeah.
I feel like it.
So May is Motorcycle Safety Month.
Yep.
So what's your safety topic today?
I think it's like when we say Motorcycle Safety Month,
Yeah.
I think it's like you kind of go back into just the basics of it. We always talk about riding to your ability, paying attention out there because the only person out there in the road that's going to look out for you is you. Like, I think that's a big one.
That happened Monday on our ride.
Yeah?
I almost got taken out by a Toyota Camry.
Ooh, that's a tough way to go.
Like to the point that
at least it wasn't a Honda.
At least it wasn't a Honda. I mean, to the point that I was on the rumble strips, knocking on the windows, asking them to please move over so I could get back on the road.
Excuse me, sir. Share the road.
Yeah. Like everybody behind me thought I was done for.
Yeah.
They didn't look. They didn't nothing.
Didn't even know. Just go back to the loud pipe save live thing.
Oh, he knew.
He knew.
He knew I was there.
That's terrible. That's awful. Yeah, I mean it's a terrible thing. It really is. It's like when everybody. We talk about the stigma of motorcycles a lot, and I think this is one of those things that everybody stigmatizes. It's like, oh my God, you get on a bike, you're going to die. Well, not necessarily. I mean, granted, if you got on an airplane, the airplane could crash. If you get in a car, you could die in a car wreck. Maybe the odds are probably higher probability that you're probably going to have a little higher bodily injury rate on a motorcycle if you get in a wreck. Maybe, to a point.
Well, yeah.
But, it's all about being safe and being situationally aware when you're riding, I think.
Yeah, and I'm right now. I'm one of the badged cagers. The guys that are driving the 4 wheels. A lot of my close calls, mishaps were not me. Were the 4 wheels out there?
Oh yeah. We had to
because they can't stop doing this, or they can't do.
Yeah, I think for Motorcycle Safety Month, I think I reach out to everybody out there that drives 4 wheels that doesn't ride around on 2.
Yeah.
Put your effing phone down. Seriously.
Yes.
And that's not just for this month. Do it every month. Put the phone down and drive. There's nothing on that phone that can't wait till you get somewhere and stop. Because you fiddling around on your phone, not paying attention, you're going to run over somebody. You might hit a kid in the neighborhood. You might hit a guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Put the phone down and drive.
And the other thing is, pay attention to your mirrors while you're driving.
I don't think people do that anymore.
I don't either. Because just because you're looking at 1 second, nothing there, next moment, we can be sitting right there.
Yeah.
Pay attention. But then again, you're right. I don't think a lot of people drive with mirrors anymore.
No, it's like you ask somebody, it's like the backup. They're like, I can't back this truck up. It doesn't have a backup camera. Well, what are you talking about? Use the mirrors. What?
Yeah.
What insanity are you talking about? Mirrors?
Which is the opposite, because I use the mirrors, and Chris was always like, you got a backup camera. It's just
I
a
do
habit
too.
of how
That's where I'm at. I'm the same way too. I use my mirrors.
Yeah. The only thing I would use the backup camera if I by myself putting the ball on the hitch.
Yeah.
Because I get it right there. I
Yep.
can see it. Other than that, I'm looking up the mirrors back and forth. Just.
Yep. I agree with that too. It's like I think in the grand scheme of motorcycles, it's like, for Motorcycle Safety Month, let's just touch base on all of it. Pay attention to where you are. Pay attention to who's around you. And be aware that they aren't watching for you. We hope that they are, but they probably aren't.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best message in general. Totally.
Yeah. Situational awareness.
Situational awareness.
Yeah.
And we got a great guest coming up for Motorcycle Safety Month.
Oh, you're already teasing people.
No, I'm teasing them. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be entertaining. They're going to like this.
You know what? They are going to be as surprised as I am because you know him. I've never met him, so this is going to be great. First time meeting.
Yep.
Doing an interview.
Yeah.
So
Awesome dude. Excellent guy. Been riding his whole life. Everything from crotch rockets to cafe racers to Hondas.
the Hondas.
Gold Wings. He's a Gold Wing guy. Yeah, we got a Gold Wing guy in the studio. We got and then rolling all the way up into the Harleys. He's got some good insight and great talk about the progression. His life's progression through the motorcycle industry.
Great. Can we give him? Don't let him ride with me because he'll be like, you idiot.
So moreover, we talk about safety. It's like I completely lost my train of thought just now.
Well, we've talked about a lot of safety stuff on the podcast so far, helmets, gear, whatever.
Yeah.
I think one thing I'm missing, and I'm a big on this, is gloves.
Gloves? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we already talked about gloves. I agree with that. Let's go it. Go with what you got.
Because everybody's like, well, I don't ride with gloves because I can't feel da-da-da. It's because it's kind of like the full face helmet. You're not used to operating with the equipment.
Yeah.
Once you do get used to it, it just comes second nature.
Sure.
But I'm big on gloves because I've seen way too many times. Somebody goes down. What's the first thing happen when you fall? You put your hands out.
Yeah, your fingers all end up looking like Vienna sausages.
Or I've seen them just
palms laid open.
Yeah, peeled back.
Yeah.
Just laid. Because that's the first thing you're like, your hands go out, you're trying to catch yourself and everything.
If you look back in the old DOT safety manual, what they recommend, the recommended approved riding gear is, irregardless whether it's 90 degrees or 50 degrees out there, you need to ride like you're riding to the North Pole. Long sleeves.
Yeah.
You should have a vest on or something for extra chest protection. Long pants, obviously. Let me tell you what kills me. Absolutely wears me out. I cannot, it just irks me no end to go see somebody when you go down to bike weeks at Myrtle, Daytona, wherever. And you see all these guys riding around in sandals. I cringe, dude. Yes, I know. I've seen you wear sandals. It bothers me.
Sandals and burnouts.
Sandals and burnouts.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't get much more Florida than that.
I mean, that's pretty damn Florida. Like that's
Shorts.
That's his shorts, sandals, and burnouts. That was as Daytona as you get right there.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean but it's like, you know, but I mean even around here, and I don't see it a lot.
No.
But every once in a while, you'll see somebody out there rolling through with like sandals on. I'm like, oh god, dude. Like, you know, because it's like same thing like happens when you get in a wobble or something. What's the first instinct that everybody does? Put your feet down, right? I promise you, you get wobbling at 30 mile an hour, them sandals ain't going to help you do shit.
Or normal tennis shoes.
True, that's true. I mean, realistically, really, you should be wearing some sort of boot.
Because people look at,
or they make some good riding shoes.
Yeah, I have riding shoes that looks just like DCs or something.
Yeah,
and everybody thinks they're DCs, but they're not. They're actual riding shoes. It's leather that's made to handle what I'm doing.
Right.
But they're super comfortable, and
yeah,
I'll have boots on, or you'll see me in those riding shoes. It just depends on the weather.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is nowadays is the industry's come so far that there's so many good manufacturers now, you know, of motor clothing. You know what I mean? And we always say Harley, it's like, you know, they're a clothing company that sells motorcycles.
Right.
But I can say one thing about Harley's product line is that their quality standards are above and beyond.
Oh, they are.
They really are.
Yep.
You pay for it.
Oh yeah.
You pay for it.
Yeah.
But the quality's there. You know what I mean? You buy a shirt, and as long as you don't get too fat to fit into it, you know, you can that shirt's going to last you for 10 years. You know.
I mean, it's true. I got shirts that 15, 20 years old. I still wear. I still look
brand new.
Yeah.
Right. But and there's so many other good secondary market manufacturers too now. There's so many people out there in the clothing and manufacturing industry that's putting out some really fashionable and very good products.
Oh yeah, I'll drop a couple right now. All right, first thing, Wretched Clothing. Have you seen me? My gloves that I wear?
Yeah.
The Good Luck Don't Die?
Yeah.
That's Wretched.
Ooh.
I've had those gloves for years. You can
really?
See how they are. He makes top notch stuff.
I'll have to check into those. I have to be honest with you, I never paid attention to gloves.
Well, you need to. He's awesome dude. Because he's right there with Jay at Left Lane Syndicate. Jay has a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah.
I love Rich Clothing. I love his stuff because it's fashionable. What we do.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, what I do to the spirited riding stuff.
Spirited riding.
Yeah. But the stuff is top quality. It's built to take, like, if something happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a real actual rider's clothes. It's not a fashion line.
No.
It's a rider's line.
Right.
You know, and there's a difference about that. You know, a lot of stuff like, you know, there's a lot, especially in gloves. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we both come from industrial backgrounds and stuff, and there's a million different manufacturers of gloves out there, and people don't understand that gloves are very application specific to what you're doing with them.
Because I'll tell you right now,
not every pair of gloves is a riding glove.
No.
Really, realistically.
I'll tell you right now, I probably went through 3 or 4 pairs of gloves a year until I got his gloves.
Yeah.
And I've had those gloves themselves for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Still nothing wrong with them.
Oh, cool. I'm going to check those out.
You're going to have to.
I'll take a look at those.
But everybody laughs at them because it says good luck, don't die.
Yeah.
But my customers find it hilarious.
Right.
Especially yesterday, I took a young guy out. He was moving up bikes, bigger bike.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I want to ride this before I buy it. So, you know, I brought him around.
Right.
I'm like, you good to go? He's like, yeah. And I looked at him. I went, when we got back, he's like, dude, that was the most hilarious thing. He's like, all of a sudden I read, good luck, don't die.
Yeah, it's that's I said, there's so many great manufacturers out there now, and that's really cool, man. Definitely got to check into those.
But on the other side, I know some manufacturers that are big in the marketing game. I would not recommend their products.
Ooh, who you got? Do you have one in mind? Because I mean, it's like, you know, there's a lot out there. I get that.
I have one in mind. I'm just not going to
understand.
drop it.
I get you.
I don't play that game, you know.
No, that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
Good for them. They great marketing campaign, but
I'm kind of with you with that. We've talked about that before. It's like, we'll from a product review standpoint, if somebody sent us something, they want us to check it out. If we check it out and it's a great product, hey, we'll put it on. We're going to do it.
Right.
But publicly, we're not going to blast you. No. I was just messing with you with that whole thing anyway.
And since we started here, we got to work with a couple people already, and hopefully they enjoyed working with us and what we've done.
Yep.
Because what we do, we talk to them like, hey, we love your stuff. But if you did this, and I'll organize shit show.
Yes.
They were very
great guys, awesome guys.
Very receptive for like, hey, if you did this,
it
would actually fit more bikes and fit better
in
certain styles, especially, because we tried it on your taller bars.
Right.
But if it had like the certain little hooks that went closer to the tank, it would have been a better fit.
Yeah. I think they did an excellent job with the product.
They did. You know what? Let's run it right now.
Let's run it. What's up, Rollin Throttle family? I got a great product for you guys today. This was sent over to us from our friends at Organized Shit Show, makers of some pretty cool stuff. And one thing that they have is this motorcycle sunshade. Goes over your handlebars, covers your seat, helps keep the seat cool in the summer, help keep the dew off of it if you're stopping somewhere overnight up in the mountains or somewhere where it's a little dewy out. So we're going to take a look at this and see what we got. Comes in a nice, convenient little bag to store in your saddlebag. So, like I said, just on the initial to look at it here, good quality construction, nice and stretchy. We're going to put this on a bike and we'll give you a shot and let you see what it looks like once we get it put on. All right, so I'm going to show you how to install the sunshade. Pretty simple. Over the handlebars, stretch it down over the back, clip it down. Quick and easy. Take your shade. It's nice and soft. It won't scratch your bike. Bring it up over your handlebars. It's got some elastic on it here. Bring it back down across the back. Just pull it down over your rear lights. And then it's got these little clips. You just pull them down here to whatever attachment point on your bike you want to put them on. And just like that, it's on. It's done. Seems like it's pretty fair easy to throw up.
Bike was inside garage at an initial starting temp 76 degrees. It was moved outside and cover was installed. Outside conditions, ambient air temp of 82 degrees. Sky is clear and sunny. Cover was installed for 30 minutes in direct sunlight. Ambient surface temp was 98 degrees on ground. Ambient surface temp of bike 120 degrees. Seat temp with shade installed 99 to 102 degrees. Checked at multiple locations. Shade was removed and bike sat in. Direct sunlight for 30 minutes. Seat temp without shade is 138 to 140 degrees.
He just records it and I have to do all the magic.
That was awesome. Yes, at the end of episode 5 right there where I made you bleep out like 5 minutes worth of bleeping.
Oh my gosh, that was frame by frame to make sure I got everything like lined up. Like, I'm going frame, and we record this in 60 frames per second, so it's like
there's a lot of
of bleeps like back to back to back to back. Of course, he thinks it's funny because I can make it go beep 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 beep. I
do find it entertaining. It's before we started all this here just a little bit ago. We were talking about it, and people watch this, or watch it and listen to it. We always say it's like I'd love for you to watch it because the watching is just as entertaining, in my opinion.
Yeah,
my own opinion. It's entertaining to watch, and we love that you listen, and we hope you do. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Get it out there for us.
I know you never heard him say that, but we just want to make sure.
If you haven't heard me say that before, you're hearing me say it again.
I think that's a new drinking game.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Somebody just had to do like 6 shots just now.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Hope you feel better.
Hope you feel better. Right? But yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't, some people don't realize it. We talk about like the differences of, in podcasts and stuff, and there's a million people that do this, and we're just trying to be out here and carve our little niche out into this market and provide some good entertainment.
And we don't know what the world we're doing. We're just talking.
We literally make this up as we go, and we've said that before, and I can't stress that enough. It's like, it is not scripted. We're just 2 guys in a garage having a conversation.
Whoa. 2 old guys.
2 old guys in a garage.
Yep.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Just we just passed your 40 mark here.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks to a few friends that also follow us that send me a few gifts that all I can tell them is game on with the pranks.
Well, that's always good for birthday pranks. That's always entertaining. If it makes you feel any better, I have a birthday coming up too. So
They sent it to work. I had no clue. Shipping and receiving comes up and says, you have a package. There's no return. I'm like, what is this? The first gift. I'm like, all right, let me open this. I guess I was thinking, well, maybe Crystal, send something here just to make sure we got it. Whatever.
Sure.
Da-da-da. Open it up in front of everybody. I pick it up. It's a shirt. Yeah, Micro Penis Club President.
I bet we have a picture of this shirt, don't we?
Oh, we got a picture of this shirt.
We got a picture of this shirt.
Yeah.
Check out this.
But it doesn't end there. So that comes on one day. The next day, they're like, oh, yeah, it was a joke. Oh, fine. But, your real gift's coming. It says it should be there. Will you do us a favor and go live?
Yeah.
And open it because it's your real gift.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I love chickens.
Chickens.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Stickers. And my micro penis journal.
Journal. That's awesome, man. It's always good to get gifts like that.
I was alive when I opened this up on Instagram.
That's pretty epic, man.
So we had
thing.
had a phone call late at night, and I told him game on.
Oh yeah. This is how it starts.
Yes.
Yeah, the great prank war has begun.
Yeah, it has.
I like it.
I mean, I'm with friends like that. Why do you need enemies?
That's true. Big shout out to Left Lane out there. Thank you all for what you do.
Yeah. So that was my birthday. Then, of course, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. You were there.
Ah, yes.
Had my closest people. The guys from Parts came. So I went to the dealership the rest of the day. And I said, I guess the rest of you don't like me. And I just gave them all hell for the rest of the day.
I get it. I totally get it.
And they were like, can you help? Nope, I'll help you. I'll help Parts. They all showed up.
I guess I'll be at work for my birthday. It looks like it this year, so. But you were too. You were at work for your birthday. You came after.
Yeah.
You came after. It was a surprise party.
My surprise party.
Your surprise party.
Which was a surprise right up until about an hour before I was supposed to be there.
Right.
Thanks to Devin's lovely fiance, Jesse. I walked in and said, I'm sorry I can't be there. Devin's like, are you kidding me?
Sorry, my bad, dude. Oh, dude.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so
yeah,
it got blown.
Well, you know, it's the thought that counts.
I can't complain because she's in school right now. She works side jobs, and one of them's at the Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
So she bring me rolls from Texas Roadhouse.
Ooh, those are so good.
So I'm not like, it's okay.
Yeah. Man, well, I tell you what, it's always good. As I said, so you're how old are we now? You're 40.
I'm 40.
You're 40.
Right on the money.
40. I'll be 44 coming up.
Why is the cameraman?
Yeah, why is the camera guy laughing back there? 44. I get it. I'm getting old.
Let me tell you, it sneaks up on you.
God, you ain't kidding. It does. Good Lord, I don't even know. I don't even know. Jeez. Can't go backwards. Charging forward. Straight into the grave.
Well,
You know what though? I feel like I'm at that point in my life though. I feel like I'm rounding that bend where I feel like I'm getting ready to catch my second wind again. I don't know why. I can't exactly explain that to you, but just here lately, I just feel like it's. I don't know. Maybe
All right, for
maybe
everybody else, it's
up.
called a midlife crisis.
It's not a midlife crisis. It's not a crisis. There's no crisis here. I'm good.
Oh, you're getting your second win. I think you need a new motorcycle. Come see me.
I knew that was coming. It's like, well, for your midlife crisis this year, you need to come buy a new bike.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's buy one get one free, right?
Yeah,
right,
Yeah.
right,
I'll make that deal.
right. For $60K, I can buy two. Yeah, right.
I'll
got
make that deal.
2 CVOs for $60,000. I'll be right there.
Ooh, you better calm down.
You heard it here first.
You better calm
You
down.
heard it here first.
Whoa, I didn't say no CVOs. Wow.
Ah, yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Wow, now you got me thinking about my 40th. Honestly, about this, I never thought I'd live this long. Everybody's like, oh, you're 40, you're old. I'm more like, I'm just surprised I've lived this long.
Well, I mean, like, I think like you'd be old like if it was like 1860.
Oh,
40
yeah.
would be pretty old.
Yeah, you would be an elder.
You haven't died of dysentery yet.
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying, it's I've lived a how's the best way to say it? A very
Fast.
fast adventure life.
You've done a lot of living in a little bit of time.
Yeah. But it's kind of a good thing now. I've able to live this long. So now when I talk to the younger guys and they're like, I'm like,
Now we're back, bub.
yeah,
Got a long way to go.
you're not the first person that's done that.
I tell my kids that all the time. They didn't invent anything. Don't I? Don't I? I do. So whatever you think you can do, remember, I did it before you. So, yeah, exactly.
And I can tell you, I probably cranked it up to 100.
Yeah. Yeah. This generation, they're something. They really are. They.
Just because we didn't put it out on social media.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's all new again. You know,
Yeah.
it's all new. We invented that. You know,
Yeah, just like the third mermaid or whatever they just made.
the Little Mermaid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started.
Hey, let me tell you what, young kids, your remake is not as good as the original.
No.
I'm talking about.
You remember the movie Overboard?
Yes.
Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn.
uh-huh.
Great movie.
That's still married.
Yeah. Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Classic.
And do you remember when they remade it?
No.
Anna Faris did one. You know, like literally, I was like, oh, okay, this will kind of be a funny remake of a movie. But it wasn't a funny remake. It was literally just a carbon copy of the movie. They reversed the roles. Like Anna Faris was kind of the role of Kurt Russell's character as the carpenter.
All right.
She was a cleaner, like a yacht cleaner. You know what I mean? And then Goldie Hawn's role was this other actor. I can't remember what his name was. I'd seen him in a couple things, but
Yeah, don't worry about it.
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Whatever
Yeah.
it was. But yeah, like, so it's like they just reversed the roles. And literally in this movie, they practically copied the script. Like, there were even like line for line quotes out of that movie. And I was just like, maybe if I was like a young person, I'd never seen it before, I'd find it entertaining. But me, I was like, come on. A little more originality in a remake is necessary. And I think if I saw this right, I think they're going to do it again. I think we got a Matthew McConaughey, Kate Hudson remake coming up of that.
Okay, I like that. I like their dynamic.
That might actually be pretty good.
Because I like their dynamic. Because what was that?
Fool's Gold.
Yeah, Fool's Gold.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Them two together is hilarious.
By the way, this is our new movie review segment if everybody's watching.
Yes, the biker movie reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. Movies to rock.
Actually, I just watched Marlboro Man, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man the other day.
I haven't seen that in years.
Oh,
man.
yeah, I had to rewatch it. Yeah, I'm like, of course, like Crystal's like, what is this movie? I'm like, it's a classic.
It is a classic.
And apparently, all my stuff I watch it sucks. So
Well, you know, I get it.
I'm like, I'm sorry, we're not like figuring out how to kill your husband.
Yeah, it's like you mean you weren't watching enough HG or A&E or something there?
Or investigation.
Investigation.
ID.
ID, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of worry about it. It's like, you know, when you get one that watches that much of that stuff, you feel like it's like they've already plotted my death.
Yeah.
They already know how to kill me, get rid of the body, and not get caught.
Yeah.
It's literally a how-to video.
Yeah.
Maybe their how-to videos are better than our last how-to video.
Maybe.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
Teaser here. Teaser. It's a...
There's an arrow on the tire that tells you which way to roll.
And just for the record, somebody said the tire was on backwards.
And somebody
said, no, it's not. Okay. Cool.
You better get a better supervisor.
The video will show.
I'm just like,
You're like, it's good. That's the way it's supposed to go. All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, well, it was going round and around.
Hey, for the record, if it wasn't for the fact that it had brakes on it, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would have been okay-ish.
What do you need brakes for?
Use a safe-ish, it would have been okay-ish.
There you go, Jay. There's your next one. Instead of ride safe-ish,
Ride okay-ish.
ride okay-ish.
Put back together okay-ish.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah, that was fun. There's fun. Yeah, we got a lot of out on the coming up on the regular media channels out there. Make sure to get out there and check it out. We're going to have some really good content coming for you throughout the spring here.
Yeah, because we're getting out and riding more now. So.
Yeah, the weather's breaking, so you know, and sometimes you just got to do that, like, you know, putting it out and producing it and doing all this stuff's fun. But sometimes you just got to get out there and ride, because if we don't actually just go ride, then what the hell do we do this for?
Will you please tell Crystal that, because he yells at me. I'm like, I just want to ride. I don't want to do anything.
It's like, I don't want to shoot today. I just want to go out and enjoy a normal day of riding.
And then I have to hear it for 3 weeks. Well, if we would have stopped here, we could have got this. If we stopped there, I'm like, or I just wanted to ride.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's fun though. Like, I enjoy it. Like, I getting out shooting. We're gonna have some good stuff coming up late summer. Gonna have some good coastal riding stuff I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you said you were going to do some coastal
filming
and then,
down in the Outer Banks. So we'll have some good stuff there.
Then we got the club style meetup, June with the Hootenanny.
Yep.
There's gonna be a lot with that. A lot of content with that. Because the guys are showing up to town, and I hope West Virginia is ready for what about to hit them.
It's going to be exciting.
Because we're bringing,
I'm excited.
We're bringing what we're used to when we were down in Florida. It's coming here.
Nice. A little hooligan style action for the Mountain State.
Except we don't have live PD up here, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I mean, if you did, it's a damn shame, because they shoot good content.
Yeah, until you are the content.
They're putting you in the back of the car and you go, hey, can I get that tape later?
Yeah, I need to put that in my...
I need a copy of that.
Yeah.
Send me a release form.
So
I need that.
So allegedly, this group of guys were standing around in
Mexico.
In Mexico. When the live PD decided they were going to show up because of hooligan stuff that happened the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So
how, let's do this. How about for people who may not understand, what is hooligan culture?
So the simplest way to put it is hooligan culture is your outlaw lifestyle.
Okay.
Without the club side of it.
Okay.
So basically, it's a lot of people that just well, the camera guy's about to choke to death out here. Man, we had a great shot. You okay back there?
Yeah, you doing all right?
Jesus.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm glad you let us continue now.
We might have to find a new camera guy.
Oh my gosh. He's like an ADD back there. But so back to hooligan culture.
Hooligan culture.
Yeah. Riding, never hiding.
Right.
Raise hell, make bail.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say hooligan culture is the best way to put it is everybody knows like club world with the outlaws and the one percenters. They ride by their own rules. They don't follow society. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same mentality, but in a more fun aspect.
I got you.
Because it's more of that mentality in a riding aspect.
Right.
As in, we go out and have fun.
Right.
We do not break any laws.
Right.
But it's more of
Bend,
don't break.
bow.
We ride more towards the edge. We push our machines to the edge.
Right.
Sometimes it goes over there.
Kind of stunt riding kind of stuff, you know.
Drifting, stunt riding, riding close together.
Yeah.
Just having a good time.
Unsanctioned hell raising.
Pretty much. And we kind of live outside that norm because even in the culture of the motorcycle world, we're still looked as, they're idiots. They do this, they do that. But in the same time, people love to watch what we do.
Well, sure. It isn't. Yeah, it's entertaining. It's entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though they're in the same breath, you're a bunch of idiots. Or I would never. That tire cost.
But I did stand here and fucking watch you burn that tire off for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me how much tires cost.
Yeah.
Like we don't know how much tires
Yeah.
cost.
We know how much tires cost.
Yeah.
I feel that. Hit that back brake a little bit too hard, slide it, like, oh, God, it sucks.
And for a lot of people out there, I'll be honest, I come from the club world. And I feel like with our hooligan culture, we have that close-knit family stuff. But we also understand that people have lives, so there's no commitments.
Right.
But at the same time, we're always there for each other.
Sure.
We're always helping each other out, whether it's working on a bike or finding a part or getting better at a trick or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But we're also really receptive. Even if you're not into that, you just want to come out and ride with us, we don't care what you're on.
Well, sure. Come on out.
Come on out and hang out with us.
Yeah, we talk about being good stewards of the culture itself, and I think that's what it takes, you know.
And I really think
because it helps to break because stuff like that helps to break the stereotypes.
Right, and I really think the hooligan culture, whatever you want to call us, what we do, is actually a better steward than a lot of stuff that's going on. Because we don't care what you ride. We have guys on Groms, on Ruckuses.
Sure, whatever.
It's all
ride what you bring.
Yeah, all it's about is being with each other and having a good time.
Yeah, no matter what it is. And you know, we always, we're Harley guys, and we pick a little bit and stuff, on the metric bikes and stuff like that. But I've said it before. The first cruiser bike I ever had was a Honda. You know what I mean? And it was an awesome bike, man. Ran like, man, that dude, the thing was reliable, smooth. It was a great riding bike. I give him shit, but it's like I have no problems. I do it tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like I look at all kinds of cool shit out there, like KTM's and like Triumphs, and I love like these Enfields. Like I love some of these new bikes that they got out here, man. It'd be, trust me, if I had the money in the room, I'd stack a pile of them up.
Well, what's funny is you bring it up and you want me to explain what we do as that culture, because it also includes performance guys.
Sure.
Straight line speed guys too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring this up because I've been laughing because I've had people contact me or talk to me. So a lot of the bigger social media people, when we first started doing this, I didn't start it. I got into it like everybody else. There's guys that were already doing it. And they were, just awesome. Like, come on in, hang out, do it. And that's how I got into it. And I love it.
Yeah.
But I laugh because years ago, with these big social media people, we're idiots. They don't do this. Da 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 da. Well, these hooligan guys are getting people were watching them more and more because, it's, like you said, it's entertaining.
Sure.
And I'm finding it funny now that I'm seeing the so-called, what do you want to say, international content creators that Harley calls them.
Yeah.
Guess what they're copying, or they're getting content on their channels now.
Kind of the hooligan lifestyle type stuff.
All of a sudden,
it's gaining popularity.
Right. All of a sudden, now they're performance people. They're this, and they're at the shows filming and putting it in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah,
it's the market.
Yeah, you sat there and trash talked us. That's another thing people got to realize. The difference between us, we create content, but at the same time, we if it went away, we would still be doing the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
you're exactly right. If we weren't filming and doing the stuff that we're doing here, we'd still be out just doing the shit we're doing.
Right.
It doesn't change what we do. We just decided to say, hey, let's share what we do with the people out here.
Yep.
Well, it's and it is what it is. I mean, because it's not like we say this all the time, and I wasn't kidding a bit. It's like we're not paid to do this. I don't get a check every month from blah 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 and sponsorship money.
No, but
It'd be nice.
But I enjoy
Miller Lite still. We're still waiting for your check. It hasn't come in. Please, a case of beer or something. Kind of running low over there.
Yeah. But at the same time, I enjoy it. I enjoy entertaining people. And
you're an entertaining guy.
Well, you can't tell. I'm a very outgoing, entertaining type of person. But the biggest thing is how many people I've met, how many great people I've met.
Sure.
And that has become actual friends.
Yeah.
From all over because of this.
Yeah.
Like, if it stopped today, it wouldn't matter because, man, I have.
You're still going to stay in contact with all these. We still think of all these people,
right?
And that's a great thing. It's like, and it's interesting too. It's like because as we've been contacted by people like OSS, Organized Shit Show, and stuff like that, and you start looking out. It's like like even some people that have reached out to us aren't necessarily motorcycle companies or people or producers or content creators. They're lifestyle creators. They're in different side of it. Maybe boating's more their culture. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, it becomes a point in time that, we try to stay true to the dynamic of what our show is, and the culture that we're trying to, for better word, trying to save in some ways and trying to grow. But, we also feel that we're dynamic enough that, we could go out and talk about it. It's like, hey, you know what? Today was a great day. I decided not to ride. I spent my day out on the river on my boat playing around, It was really cool, man. Beautiful day, So it's like, I think that there's a lot of creators out there that kind of I think there is a lot of creators that get pigeonholed, though. Yeah. Like they think that they only can create one type of content or only one, it's the only thing that matters.
Right.
You got to appeal to your audience.
But in the same sense, even before we started doing all this, I was just as hardcore about motorcycles as I am now.
Right. That didn't change.
It didn't change.
It hasn't changed.
Motorcycles I live and breathe motorcycles.
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't push that on everybody else to live and breathe because I understand people like different things.
Yeah.
You enjoy riding your motorcycle, but you also like getting on your boat.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Not everybody's going to be like me that live, breathe motorcycles.
Well, and there's a difference between liking stuff and having a passion for something.
Right.
And I think with you, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm a divided person when it comes to passion because honestly, I feel like mine is split between boats and motorcycles. And it really always has been.
Right.
I feel just as strongly about one as I do the other. The unfortunate side is I don't have enough time to do both at the same time. Sometimes I ride my bike to the boat dock to get on my boat, though.
Or we put a motorcycle ramp on your boat and ride your motorcycle onto the boat.
I'm hoping one of these days, when all these big endorsement deals take off, we start getting those checks, and I'll have a boat big enough that I can just ride my bike onto the boat and then cruise somewhere and get it off and go ride.
Lord.
You got to have a dream, man. You got to have a dream. You got to try.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the thing, man. That's what it is. It's about passion. Yeah. Whatever it is that you have or whatever it is that you do, I've said that before. It doesn't matter whether it's motorcycles or boats, whether it's Jeeps, 4-wheel drive trucks. I don't care. Maybe your passion's cooking. When you love something so much, you develop a passion for it. And when you have a passion for it, you do everything you can do to be a part of and be involved in that passion.
Which makes my day job easier.
Right.
Because when I talk to potential people getting into it.
Right.
Or upgrading or something, it's easy for me to talk about because, I'm sure this is my life.
Yeah.
This is what I live and breathe.
I mean, I think people probably would, I would recommend it, because I could see that. Because if somebody comes into a dealership and they've never been around motorcycles, and somewhere around the way we may have touched on this before, but if somebody's never been around bikes or has no, let's say that you work in a dealership, and I'm sure there's probably people out there that sell bikes that don't ride.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's just a job for them.
Yep.
But I don't feel like you can have as much energy and passion for trying to convey that to somebody, that your passion helps to give that to somebody else, to show them the light, the happiness that what you do, what this is, can bring you.
And the knowledge.
And the knowledge.
And making sure they're getting on the right motorcycle.
Yes. Big play right there, man. I'm telling you. So,
because you know,
it's what it takes. You gotta have it.
I've had so many. I've had tons of seat time on so many different styles and models, especially in the Harley line.
Yeah.
That I can literally tell them the characteristics of what they're going to feel when they ride that motorcycle.
Right.
So if they're leaning towards a certain aspect, like the other day, highway, the dude he was riding on a Softail, and he wanted something that was better on the highway.
Yeah.
He was looking at street lights. I was like, great, they will do the highway. Here's how their characteristics are.
Sure.
And then went to the road light. This is how their characteristics. Then
Yeah.
we went to the limit. This is how their characteristics is.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how in the world do you... I was able to really explain and make him visualize what that motorcycle was going to do, how it's going to ride.
You have that knowledge, and you can help to transfer that to people who, it conveys well. And I think it's a good thing for you.
I'm very fortunate because my passion bleeds into my work.
Right. And then speaking of passion, we got a heck of a guy here we're going to talk to.
See this? See this factory suspension? You want great suspension? Go to rideH2.com. Pick you up an excellent, made in America, lifetime warranty suspension from H2 Performance. That's rideH2.com. They support our channel. We support them. So go over there, hit them up.
We got somebody great for you today. It's like, I think you're going to enjoy this. We got Mr. Alan Lude here, motorcycle extraordinaire, old school rider.
Well, let's not go too old school.
Well, I mean, marginally old school.
I would say.
Where did it start?
So I started riding dirt bikes at 5.
At 5.
So I'm 47. So let's do the math. Somebody else can do the math, but
Somebody do the math.
That's pretty. That's
math people.
That's a while back.
Anybody.
Yeah, so that's a while back.
Studio audience says 42.
42. So I started riding dirt bikes at 5.
Mm-hmm.
4-wheelers, 3-wheelers. You know, just name everything. That's what I was doing. And then, so I got my driver's license. Got out on the road, seen some different types of motorcycles, and then I actually started seeing the sports bikes. I was like, man, those are nice. And at the time, they sounded good, too.
Yeah.
The exhaust back in the early 90s, the Muzzies, the Yoshis, all the good ones had nice, round, solid sound to it. None of that rattle stuff.
Yep.
I was like, God, that sounds good. So I'm like, man, I'd like to have one of those. But I knew, like...
What was the first bike first sport bike you got?
So the first sport bike I got was a 95 Suzuki Katana 600.
Nice.
Black. It looked... It was black. Everything was black on it, man. It was nice. With a... of course, it had the... what pipe did it have on it? I think it had a Yosh pipe on it.
Right.
So...
Those were big back then.
Yeah, it was pretty... And then they switched over to Advanced Hounds down the road on that pipe. On that bike. But it worked out pretty well. I bought it. So the funny thing is with that bike, so I knew if I go ask my parents about it, they're going to say no.
Of course.
And of course, I was living at home. I'm like, well, there's no sense in asking them. I already know what the answer is going to be. Saved up the money, bought it, and rode it home. So, I had a title, and here I am on this bike.
Nobody can be like, oh, you can't buy it. Like, oh, I already did it.
I already did it. This is my money,
sorry,
right?
Guys.
So, my mom was pretty much pissed.
Right.
But my dad was like really excited I could save money and actually do something worthwhile.
Wow.
So to him,
silver lining in it.
Yeah, so I had my mom was like, well, this is bad. My dad's like, you did good. So I weighed it out. It's like, okay, 50-50. That's all right.
Right. Nice.
So
it actually turned out to be a good day all the way around,
It did. Rode that bike for a while, man. Had a good time with it. I didn't ride it to the extremes.
Yeah.
Because I was new to it,
Sure.
right? And it was a katana, so you can't ride those to the extremes.
Yeah.
But
Actually, I always said it on here, but like the first bike I said, like one of the first bikes I had was a Honda VT 1100 first cruiser.
mm-hmm.
The first bike I ever owned was a 500 Ninja. And it would have been probably like early 90s model. I can't remember the model on this thing. Just your old 500 green Ninja, you know?
Man, we should have kept those bikes.
It was a fun little bike.
We should have kept them.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have it sitting here now, for sure.
Well, my katana, I did end up crashing it.
Oh, yeah?
There's a story behind that too, though, because it's not all my fault.
Tell us the story.
So the story is, I'm new to this motorcycling, blah, blah, blah. I go out and I get 2 brand new tires put on at the same time.
Right.
At a dealership that I'm not going to mention names.
Okay.
I ride it home, but it's raining, right? So
Is the dealership that's still here today?
May not be.
Okay.
May not be here today. So I ride it home, but it's raining, so I'm riding real careful, right?
Right. New tires.
New tires.
New tires.
New tires. 2 new tires, man.
Right.
2 new tires, all right? Not just the front, not just the back. Both of them.
Yep. Nice, slick, new tires.
The first pretty day, man. The first pretty day, I take it out. I'm about 3 miles from the house, or mom and dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
Go around the first turn, bam, hit the pavement.
Oh, man.
The bike goes sliding. It hits the guardrail, gets stuck underneath the guardrail. I'm rolling down there. Of course, I had a leather jacket on, some gloves, but just pants, you know.
We talked about gloves. Gloves are very important.
Gloves are, hey, you
They're
know
important.
what? So the full face helmet,
Right, there we go.
full face helmet, gloves, jacket, and jeans and boots. That's what I had on. I was doing about 25.
Yeah.
So
not like excessively fast.
Not super fast, right?
Yeah.
Just enough to lean over for it to go over. And that guy comes out as a guy in the neighborhood. He came out and said, "Hey, you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "You want me to call the fire department?" It was in my fire department area.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, don't call the fire department.
It's like, I'm good. I'm good. Just,
Last thing I want them to do is come up here
yeah.
and laugh at me, because that's all they're going to do.
It's funny, you know. It's like, you know, it's always weird. It's like, you know, what the embarrassment is like when you lay your bike over on its side.
Oh, man.
And you're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
It could happen at a moment that you're not expecting it. Even when you're in your own garage moving stuff around.
Yes. It happened quick, though. I mean, I went down quick, honestly. Like, I hit so fast and so hard that, like, my face shield hit the pavement. Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like if I didn't have a full face, this part of my face would have been gone, because that whole front of my helmet.
So, you know, we talk a lot about safety on this show and stuff, you know, because it's, you know, it's all good to get out there and have fun, and be a very spirited rider and all, but, you know, safely being spirited, as we call it.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about helmets. So, from your opinion, and other side of this too is you are a former motorcycle safety course instructor.
Yeah, so I was a site coordinator for the South Charleston Range for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I was a instructor for a year. So I got about 6-7 years of experience in the motorcycle safety side of the house. Wonderful course. I mean, you know, whether it's the Harley side of it or the state side of it, highly recommended.
For anybody, for experienced or inexperienced riders.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know the state sponsored safety courses. They have the basic, they have the advanced, they have the 3-wheeler side of it. So like they kind of cover everything at this point.
That's really cool.
But I did learn a lot. Even with the time I had under the seat on the bike, I learned a lot from that class, which actually made me want to become an instructor. I took it to get
proficient at handling your bike.
Right? Because after you crash, you're like, maybe I need to take something later in life. But
maybe I didn't know what I thought.
Maybe I didn't know what I knew. But anyways, but I did. I took it, enjoyed it. I had great instructors, like, man. And then the instructors came to me and said, "Hey, you did a great job. You're able to communicate well. Why don't you come over and start teaching?"
That's cool.
So that's how I did it. And then the state director was like, "Hey, why don't you become a site coordinator?" And then you just get roped into it, man.
Right.
You get roped into it.
Yeah, then you're into it. You're big time.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to be having a podcast and everything.
Oh, that's you. That's on y'all, man. That's on y'all. But the motorcycle safety program, wonderful. Everybody should take it. Everybody should take a form of the safety class. I mean, it goes over everything.
Yeah.
It goes over, like, you should dress for the ride. A lot of people say you should dress for the crash, but really you can't. You can't predict that, and you don't want to crash.
Right.
But if you're doing a long ride,
Yeah.
dress for it, right?
Sure.
Layers is a big thing. Dress in layers, so you can add layers, take layers off. Helmet. We go over helmets a lot.
How do you feel about people you see riding in flip-flops?
Man, you can't do that.
I agree.
You just can't do that. You just can't do the flip flops.
The camera guy's getting what?
Well,
Like doing burnouts in flip-flops?
I'm not saying that I've not done it, but I'm just saying, like,
you don't recommend it.
Well, the one time I did do it, and it's only one time, there's a reason for that too. The one time I did it was, for some odd reason, my sandal on my left side when I was shifting kind of like got stuck somewhere, and I was trying to like work it,
right?
And it fell off.
The sandal.
My sandal fell off.
Now you have no shoes.
I don't have a shoe, man.
You only got one.
So I wouldn't recommend riding.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, probably a good one. You'd probably forego the sandals.
Yeah. So
unless you're unless for some reason you find yourself somewhere over in the Middle East or India, sandals, just find something else.
Yeah. Maybe a shoe.
How do you feel about helmets? Because we've talked about helmets. Where do you fall on helmets? Half helmets, full helmets,
man.
Three-quarter helmets.
I've had them all. So I've used them all.
Sure.
Probably most people who've been in the motorcycling business for a while has used every type of helmet.
I can agree with that.
I think sometimes it dictates in what bike you have.
Okay.
And what type of image you're trying to project.
Okay.
Now, going off of that, do we want to go ahead and do it because we want to look cool?
Yeah.
And then if we do crash, that might be the end of it.
Right.
Or do we want to go ahead and have that full face like me when I did crash? Because if I didn't have it, this pretty face right here wouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to look cool when you don't have a nose.
Yeah.
Or ears.
Right. And I wouldn't have had that.
Truth.
But I mean, like I said, I've done half helmets.
Yeah.
I've done 3/4. I got a modular right now, or convertible, whatever some people want to call them.
Yep.
I like those best right now.
That's what I have.
It's kind of like a Cadillac. It's got the Bluetooth in it. It's all decked out, right? And I can link it up to the rider or the passenger on bike.
Fighter jet helmet.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now, because probably just because I'm older. I don't want the bugs hit me.
We've talked about that before, and I think you see more. You see more people on cruiser bikes now wearing full face helmet than we've ever seen before. Yeah. And I've said that before, but it seems like it's an ongoing observation, which tells me that there's something more to it. It's like, I think people are making, to a point, I think people make better decisions. Yeah. And as you say, people ride to what they're comfortable with. There's some people that might not be comfortable wearing a full helmet. So do you feel like you should probably find a balance somewhere between comfort? I mean, like, let's say you're somebody and it's like, man, I cannot see out of a full face helmet. Yeah. I don't feel like I've got good peripheral vision. Maybe in that case.
So, in the motorcycle safety side of the house, they also talk about the ladder of risks, right?
Okay.
So if you got an 8-foot ladder, the higher you go up on it, the more riskier it might be for you to fall off, right? Or if you do fall off, it's going to hurt more.
Okay.
So when you look at it from a motorcycle safety standpoint, we look at it as, first and foremost, is your bike in good working order?
Okay.
If it is not, then you're already standing on that first ladder before you even take it out on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent.
If you got ball tires on
Makes sense.
You've already got a high risk of going over when you go out.
Sure.
Is it raining and you go out? So if you got ball tires, it's raining, just keep adding things to it, and that's the higher you go up. Sooner or later, you're going to go up too high and you're going to fall.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter what you have.
When you add all those into it, it's going to happen.
Right.
So, when we talk about helmets, I'm like, I have no issues with whatever helmet somebody wants to use.
Sure.
I do have an issue, though, without using the helmet. Me personally.
Okay.
Just because I've been in the EMS side of the house for so long.
Right.
I've seen helmets.
And that's currently that's what you do now. You're in EMS now.
Yeah. So I've seen helmets actually save lives. I know what a helmet did for me.
Yeah.
So I would like to to stick with whatever is comfortable with somebody, because comfort has to be a part of it. For you to fully enjoy the ride, you have to be comfortable, right?
Right.
So you have to have that comfort level, but you also have to have the adequate protection level
Okay.
for what you need. And again, the protection level is going to be based upon your riding capabilities.
Right.
It's going to be based upon how well do you take care of your bike.
Right.
What's the weather out there? Where are you riding? Is it new roads? Is it roads that you're not familiar with?
Okay.
Are you riding with a group of people that you're not familiar with? So each one of these things
Adds another level of risk.
risk.
Yeah. Rung of risk on that ladder.
Yeah. So again, I think if you're a new rider,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't go past one or two steps, right?
Risk steps.
Right.
Right.
The more advanced you are, maybe you can go up a little bit farther, right?
Right.
And
Like
still
if
be
you're
fine.
right. Like if you were like say you've only had a bike for a couple months, would you be in perspective of saying, it's like, wow, it's going to rainy out there today. I probably shouldn't go out.
Right.
So yeah, you're adding risk assessment, and
Yeah.
I think and that's an interesting approach. And like I said, I personally have never taken the rider safety course myself. I probably should, and I feel like I need to. So,
You should.
Yeah, I should. I should, just to become a better, more proficient rider. But and I've had same thing with you. Always say this. I've had talked to so many people that have taken the course, and they say the same thing. It's like, and I'm talking about people that have been riding for 15, 20 years. Like, you know what? I decided to go and take that course.
Yeah.
And it seems like they all come out with it, and they always say the same thing. It's like, man, I learned stuff that I never knew. And I think that if you know more about, just like you talk about the ladder of risk here, the more information that you have starting out, the better off you are. The lower you're going to stay on that ladder.
Absolutely. Because smart decisions save lives.
Yes.
I mean, 100%. 100%. And new riders, what do they want to do? They want to ride.
Right.
So sometimes we start having bad decisions right away.
Right.
Because we just want to be out on the street. So,
right. We just want to ride.
And honestly, I mean, sometimes a half helmet's going to be cheaper than a full face.
Right.
So sometimes we're cutting cost because either we can't afford it or whatever. And now we've already went up that ladder of risk.
One thing we've talked about too throughout our stuff is fitting a bike to a ride, for a rider to fit themselves to the bike, and fitting the bike to you. I think that's how do you feel? Where do you fall on that too?
They talk about that, and personally, I feel like my personal preference is if you're married with somebody and they ride already, you should go with somebody else. You shouldn't go with that person unless they already know how to not interfere too much.
You're saying as in if your spouse or significant other is a rider.
Yes, because a lot of times there's a little bit too much influence on there. And I think you have to make sure you're fitting the bike to the rider. Now.
Right.
Even now. A lot of times you're like, oh, you're going to outgrow that in 2 years. That's great.
Yeah.
That means you're going to be around in 2 years to outgrow it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You didn't jump into something that doesn't fit you.
Yes.
Into a level of bike that you're completely not comfortable with, just because somebody said, "Oh man, it's like you don't want to buy that Softail. You need to go ahead and step up and buy that Road Glide set,
because you're gonna want that in 3 years."
Yeah, it's like, well, I need to learn how to ride first.
Yes, and again, if you're not fitting the bike to the rider, you're already at risk. You've already took that 1 or 2 steps, right?
Instead of starting here, we're already starting here.
You're already starting here,
right? And that's not where you want to be, especially if you don't have any experience with it. Don't start here. Don't start halfway up that ladder.
Right.
That's a really it's a really good way to put that. I don't think I've ever heard it verbalized like that before. That's a really good way to quantify safety and risk assessment.
That's all it is, man. If everybody would just look at the ladder and make it like, okay, an 8-foot ladder, and is my bike in good condition, right? Because that's the first thing. T-clocks, right? Your pre-ride inspection,
right?
Everybody needs to do a pre-ride inspection, even after you come out and you park it. Just look, man. It might be leaking some oil you just don't know about, or it might be some fork seals leaking.
What are some of the things that somebody should look at in a pre-ride inspection?
I mean, you basically everything that you can look at, right? Everything you can look at without taking things apart.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, every bike might be a little bit different.
Right.
But definitely your tires, your clutch, any type of fluid you can look at, anything that might be leaking, any bolt that you might have had issue with previously.
Right.
Just kind of just go over and look at
controls, things like that.
Yeah.
Make sure just a general look around to make sure everything's in safe working order.
It takes 5 or 6 minutes.
Right. Well worth the time.
Well worth the time.
Yeah.
Because if you discover it in the garage, you're going to be a lot safer when you get out on the road.
Nobody wants to get out there and have their shifter fall
off. Right? Or a flip-flop falls off. It happens, right?
Go.
See? If you were just
stuck in fifth.
If you would just tighten that bolt, you'd have been fine.
Yeah, the bad thing was it was tight. It was stripped out. I thought it would hold on just one more ride. That's the way that works sometimes.
See, you started out already. Right
I was already here.
You're right there, man.
Yeah. If there's like 3 rungs on the bottom, I was somewhere between the second and third at that point. So, yeah, it is what it is,
Yeah, but I think really anybody starting out, man, if they just look at the ladder of risk, look at risk. How much risk are you willing to take? How much risk can you take because of your ability to ride the bike?
Yeah.
How comfortable are you on the bike? Because you can take more risk at that point.
One thing we always talk about is like stigma, like the stigma of riding.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody's like, and I'm sure you hear, we all hear this in this industry. It's like, I don't know why you want to ride that motorcycle. They're just dangerous. You're going to die on it. And I tell everybody's like, I could get in my car, pull out of my neighborhood and get hit by a tractor trailer and die today. Like I could get run over by the UPS guy getting stuff out of my mail.
Yeah, the stigma is high, man. I think it's just people just wants to talk about stuff they don't know anything about.
It's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, because of course there's going to be accidents on bikes, right? Of course there is. There's going to be car accidents. There's actually helicopter crashes too. I mean, there's a lot of different types of crashes. Plane crashes, but people still flies.
Yeah, it's you bring that up. It was like, if you remember there for a little while, it's like I was working on my pilot's license, and the whole reason that I started, I wanted to learn how to fly was because I had this really weird fear of flying. Wasn't as afraid of flying, but every time I got on a plane, I was uneasy. Mainly because it's like from a mechanical man's mind. It's like I get on that airplane and I think of the 150,000 moving parts and everything that can go wrong in it. And I felt like I developed this really inherent fear of it. So it was kind of made that leap. I said, you know what? Maybe if I learn a little more of it, so I did that, made that leap and started, doing flight training and stuff like that. And I realized real quick that there's so much that goes on to fly a plane. It's not even funny. First and foremost. And the same thing, inspections, checklists, routine is your friend in aviation for sure. And I think that in the same thing, I translate a lot of that stuff that comes over into motorcycles in the same thing. Routine, develop a check routine. Take your time before you go out to check all this stuff. And that was one thing I did. Once I kind of learned about it and I started to feel more comfortable and learn more about the machine, the mechanics, and the information around what I was doing, I found that I developed a comfort for it. And I equated that back, because I rode motorcycles before I did the airplane stuff. And I equated that back to the motorcycle. And it was weird how it just kind of popped in my brain. It was like, because it was the same thing. First day you get on a motorcycle, you feel like a pig on roller skates. You're like, this is not right. There's just something weird about this. It's like, I don't know if I can handle this. And then after you whiskey throttle it off the road into a ditch once, you kind of get away from that fear.
Yeah, I mean, you realize that it hurts. It hurts for a minute, and then you
right. You're like, well, got to dig this thing out of here now.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just make sure that we're looking at the ability to get in a routine, like you said. Get in a routine, do your checks, make sure you have the right type of bike, make sure you have the right type of gear, and go on with it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, 100%. So moving on up, you had your sport bikes, and then you had a Goldwing for a while. So
I did have a Goldwing. I still have that, actually. It's in the garage. I haven't started it for about 4 years.
You still have the Goldwing?
Yeah. So we might need to tear that down one day. And
well, bring it on over. It won't be the first bike we tore apart here at Studio 77. Wait till you see those how-to videos. Those are going to be great.
I can't wait to see that.
So, we've had this kind of thing, and if you had to equate the Goldwing to a four-wheeled model of a Honda vehicle, what would you relate it to? What is a Goldwing to you?
So, like, I have an older Goldwing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going back to antique almost. I think it's like an '89 model.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like it keeps running. So like, I mean, any of the older Honda cars, man, has like 300,000 miles on it.
So like, what model? If you had to give you a model, like if you said, my Gold Wing is like a, what would it be? Tell me that car.
Man, I can't even put a car on it, dude.
See, I made a
I can't even put a car
I made
on
a
it.
statement a while back, and it got refuted. I said, Honda Gold Wings. I said, my God, I said those things might as well just be like a Honda Accord. And I was corrected on this, that most Gold Wing owners, most of them,
Right.
when they had to equate them back to a car, they like to consider them a Civic. Functional,
I can
efficient,
see,
but yet sporty.
I can see a Civic. I mean, Civics, man, they ran everywhere. I mean, you could take them down in the holler somewhere,
Right?
and they come back out.
Right. So, I mean, so really, you're probably on the Civic boat there.
I'm probably on the Civic boat.
If you had to compare, if you said my Gold Wing is an Accord or is a Civic, you would say
Civic.
it's a Civic.
It's a Civic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Big Smitty, that's another one. That's another one right there.
That's
we got another
Civic.
Civic guy. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, let's touch on something else here too. So, tell me a little bit about your business. What's Code 3?
So Code 3 is it's a gym in Nitro. Basically, it got started with a thought process when I was in back of an ambulance. Yeah,
It's a good time to think about things.
Yeah, usually I'm the person who's providing the care, but when you're laying in the cot and you are the patient, and you're going from one hospital to the next hospital because one hospital says the surgery's too risky and you might be paralyzed if we do it, and then they say we're going to refer you out. You have a little bit of time to think.
Sure.
Like, what have I not done that I was wanting to do? So I was like, okay, if I get out of this, I'm not paralyzed, I want to open up a gym.
Nice.
So that's how that came about.
Okay.
I thought I was just going to be paralyzed from the surgery,
Yeah.
and they did great, and I'm walking, so I'm
Man.
fine. So that's how that came about. But it's a small gym, man. In Nitro, it's kind of hardcore.
Yeah.
So we play some hardcore music. We
Yeah.
don't really have the.
We're going to get into it then there.
Yeah, there might be some grunting. We don't have no alarms that goes off when there's too much noise.
Right.
There's probably some adult language being said
Oh, my.
in there. Yeah,
That sounds like a great place.
We do have a dress code as long as you're dressed.
Right, as long as you're
As
dressed.
long as you're dressed, that's the dress code, and there's no flip flops.
No flip-flops.
No flip flops.
Wear clothes, don't wear flip-flops.
Right.
That seems like a pretty good dress code
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, but like I said, we started that up, man, and we're in a make of expanding actually. So
Nice.
we're going to expand it a little bit next door, taking over more space and love it. And a lot of it is just because I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
I love motorcycling. It's good to clear my head. If I can't ride, I like to go work out, lift. It clears my head.
Right.
So it's kind of more of a mental thing for me.
Okay.
So I can get over a lot of stuff. So
You talk about it, and I'll touch on this too. Is like you and your wife, you have another business.
yeah, we have behavioral health. Aspire to Inspire. We have offices in St. Albans. We have offices in Taze Valley. I'm gonna say I'm second in command.
Yeah.
Which probably does
Is that second?
second in
In
command.
command?
And then, but my wife does. She's wonderful. She does everything, man. Like there's so many things behind the scenes that nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
When it comes to a large practice like that.
Yeah.
And how much time it takes. But it's we do it because we want to help.
Sure.
We want to make sure we're helping. We're kind of giving back to the community. We're providing a service that everybody can hopefully come and if they need it.
Sure.
But also, we're looking at, with me being the first responder for so long, I know that first responders, their head gets messed up sometimes.
Sure.
Going on these different calls, the trauma they see all the time, the death we're dealing with constantly. So I wanted to provide a space that they could go and be able to at least help themselves to get through their career so they can retire in 20 years and maybe have a happy retirement.
Sure.
So
And not be haunted with all those things that they've seen over the course of that career.
Yeah. So try to help them be able to process things before they retire. Then when they do retire, they don't have those demons coming to the surface.
Sure.
Because that's when it happens.
Right.
That's when everything surfaces when you retire.
Right. Because now you're not live into it anymore.
Right.
And it's just your mind goes back.
Mhm.
It just digresses back to where it started.
Yeah. Then you have no way of getting help. You're too far. You're too far deep.
We here here on the show, we love to support,
Yeah.
first responders and the veterans and stuff like that. And man, that's an awesome thing for you guys, and for me and everybody else, we really appreciate, you guys doing that.
Yeah.
That's an awesome thing. Like it totally is.
Yeah, man, it's been great. It's 100% so much satisfaction to be able to help people out.
How would you? Let me ask you a question. So, from a therapeutic standpoint, and studio audience, feel free to chime in back there. From a therapeutic standpoint, where do you equate motorcycle riding in a therapy standpoint?
So I would say it depends on what type of headspace you're in, right? Because if you're in too much of a headspace, it's probably not good to be on the bike.
Okay.
Because you're not able to process and think what's going on, what you need to think about what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're within the limits of having moderate good headspace, man, I'm telling you what, there's almost nothing better.
From a therapy side of things.
If you love motorcycling,
right,
and you're a true motorcyclist,
yeah,
going out, as long as it's safe for you to go out, and smelling and seeing what you do as a motorcyclist, there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
it's great.
I've said this for a long time. There's no better way. Yeah. There's no better way to get away, than to be on a bike.
Yeah,
because it's like you're not just. It's not like being in a car when you travel.
Mm-hmm.
It's you are in the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
You smell it, you see it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so much more to that than what, taking trips, being out west and stuff like that and cruising that country out there, you just feel like you're so immersed in it.
Right.
It's like I agree with you. It really there's a cleansing part that comes out. It cleanses your soul, man.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I'll have a bike till the day I die.
That's awesome.
Till the day I die, I'll have some type of bike. It might be a 3-wheeler, but I'm just saying I will be on something with a helmet on. Until the day I go. With a
helmet on.
With a helmet on.
The day that I go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, we really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, man.
This has been great.
Oh, dude.
We definitely want to have you back here sometime. That would be.
Yeah, I like to dive into the mental health a little bit more, man. That'd be great.
That would be cool.
I think we can do a little bit of a comparison between the two.
Yeah, I think that would be great, man. Yeah. If you guys want to see that, stay in tune. I can't talk today. This is what happens. Stay tuned, and we will catch up with more on that at a later date. Alan, thank you very much for coming. It's been awesome.
Man, it's been my pleasure.
Cool. Thank you. Back to you.
Well, that was an awesome interview you did with Alan there.
I tell you what, man, he's just such an awesome guy to talk to, and he's just got so much information. Like, it's crazy. He's just a very articulate fellow, to say the least.
Yeah, he's got so much information that we got part 2 to this.
Part 2, man.
That's right. We're teasing it. Part 2.
Part 2
is coming up on this.
Yep. If you want to see some more great stuff with Alan and Drew, throw a little interview action out here. I want you to tune into our next episode because it's going to be great.
Yeah, they really need to because there's a lot of examples of what not to do on the next episode.
Yes. If you like motorcycle safety and you like it in a fun and humorous way, you're really going to enjoy this next episode. So,
yeah,
please, as always, like, subscribe, and share. Tune in to our next episode
where I get to interview Alan
because it's going to be a blast.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to end this with a little teaser clip.
Ooh.
So
check this out.
Where I'm at, the mistakes like, hey, we need to calm this down a little bit here. The flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
And there's no allegedly. There is footage out there of me in flip-flops and burnouts. Okay. And shorts. No eye protection. No helmet.
Why were we doing that?